All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Mortgage Coach Friday Mastermind. We are going on our 5th year doing this weekly event. Robert and I were just doing some planning on when is the 5-year anniversary, and it's going to be, we don't know if it's the end of the year or the first week or two in January, but we're going to be doing some planning on how to celebrate our 5-year anniversary of this call. So if you have ideas on guests that we have, on formats, we're gonna be promoting it. We're gonna be doing something fun to help me host today's call. We got Mr. Todd Bookspan, and it really seems like Todd, like since we've got on the other, through COVID, on the other side of COVID, we're both here most weeks, so it's been pretty cool.
It's been a blast. I just look forward to hanging out with you on Fridays, getting to say good morning to Robert, see his smiling face, and ultimately add value to our community. I feel like we've been blessed with this amazing 14-month run, and I feel that now we have the opportunity to help people with the tools, the tactics, the accountability, the encouragement, the ideas, the guests to support it to make this next 14 months even better.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And today's mastermind it's a little bit of a different format. It's not as though we've never run a Friday mastermind like a sales meeting. We've done that before, but this is the format today. We kicked off over the last week and the week before with Jeremy Forcier and Dan Keller, Todd Duncan, a challenge for the month of, what is it? I almost said August, but what?
July.
It's July. Geez, this year is a blur. It's going so fast. It's just a blur. But we kicked off a challenge, which is TCA a day, means total cost analysis every day of the week. And it's funny, ever since I've done that, I'm looking at loan officers and I'm seeing how many TCAs they've done for the month. And I'm like, when it's 20 or more, I'm like, oh, this is someone in the TCA a day club. And when they're like, oh, they've done 5 or 10, I'm like, not in the club. So it is becoming a rite of passage in the mortgage coach community. And then the CMA a day for agents. And, both of those things are really high value activities. If you're a loan officer and you do a TCA a day, you're going to close a lot of loans. If you're a realtor and you do a CMA a day, you're going to sell a lot of houses. There's just no way around it. They are activities that if you do them consistently, you do them daily, you will close more loans, you will sell more homes, and you will be more profitable. And then the most important thing of all, you will have made the digital shift. You will be a modern mortgage or a modern real estate professional because you're using technology, you're using data, you're presenting options and strategies for families to build wealth with real estate if you do these two activities. So we're going to have Jeremy Forcier drop by. Probably won't have him for the full, well, we're not going to have him for the full hour because he's finishing up a workout. He said he'd be here around 9:15. And we don't know how long we're going to have him, but stay tuned. Jeremy will be here in about 10-ish minutes. So Todd, what would you like to say to everyone? And know that I think we've got 2 types of people on today's call. We have managers who are like, hey, I come to this group for inspiration to be a better leader and to help manage my team better. And then we have loan officers that are saying, hey, this call in this community, I'm here to learn. I'm here to be held accountable, and I'm here to get better. So kind of provide some leadership for both those personas on today's call.
Well, and I think it's awesome. And I think when Jeremy gets up here, he'll be able to report how he as a leader has launched the TCA a day with his team members, right? So, allowing Jeremy to talk to that. And, what I'll do is I'll talk to the individual LO, really how I would launch it myself, and then kind of just some of the feedback I'm getting from real estate agents who are doing the CMA a day and loan officers who are doing it, kind of really just some tactical stuff. But since I see none other than Jay Force himself here, we probably should at least say good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
How was your workout, brother?
Ridiculous. Best realtor meeting I've ever had in my entire life, hands down.
So what'd you do before we get into the challenge at hand? You were working out with some agents?
Yeah, I contacted a couple agents and I was like, hey, do you guys want to do a hardcore workout? And they were like, two said, yeah. So we went and did a super hardcore workout this morning with shout out to Jake Fulton. Check him out, Body by Jake, fitjake.com. And he just crushed us. I mean, there was puking, there was everything. It was absolutely incredible, man. You want to get a realtor vulnerable, you take him to the verge of puking. Amazing, amazing situation. It was totally fantastic.
Talk about flipping the script and going into alpha dog mode. New,
It
new
was so
strategy,
fun.
guys. Maybe we'll do that challenge next month. Is taking agents into workouts and getting them, making them puke or getting them close.
Hey, I was in the same boat. I'm not knocking the agent. Eddie was crushing it too. It was unbelievable. So I'm jacked. I'm ready to share. I'm gonna start doing this. That is a great new tactic for me. Great strategy, dude. How much closer to someone can you get besides not breathing, feeling sick, pulling them up? You can do it. Get another rep. You're bringing me along like that. Is dude. It was great.
Well,
Well,
good
plus you're not
job,
going to
Bo.
sleep in, right? You might sleep in if you're meeting your buddy, but when you're
Yeah.
meeting your realtors, like you can't be that guy. So
No.
what a next level of accountability you got going
Yeah.
too.
It was cool.
All right, dude. So let's get into the topic at hand, Jeremy. So we already set the table, and we've got people on this call. Some of them are individual loan officers that are looking for mentorship, leadership. And the topic today is the TCA a day as a loan officer and the CMA a day as an agent. But we also have a lot of folks that are managers, that are leaders, and they're here to like, hey, I'm getting ideas that I can take back and implement as a leader within my branch,
Yep.
within my team, or within my region. So why don't you take the stage as someone that's training the trainers? So
Sure.
speak directly to managers and leaders around what you're doing, why you're doing it, and around this TCA day and this CMA day challenge.
Love it. So, I believe in something as a leader personally to keep myself accountable in my leadership is it's a see, do, share, right? See, do, share. So I see something that is super cool, like the CMA a day for realtors, for example, or a TCA a day, challenge. I see, and then I do it, right? I call the realtors, I share the strategy, and then I share it, right? And I think it's really important from a leadership perspective to not just see and share, but the do, right? The see, do, share. The do share is where you get credibility. That's where you get street cred, right? The do share. Now that doesn't mean, by the way, if you're in a leadership position and you're a non-producing manager, that doesn't mean that you have to be doing loans necessarily, by the way, but you can test stuff and make calls, right? You can test ideas with other people and see how the response is, and then bring that and share it to other people. So for me, it's always see, do, share. I saw Todd talk about the CMA a day. And then, did you guys come up with the TCA a day? Right?
Yep.
Was that you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we own
I
that trademark, but you guys
I
can use
I
it.
almost, by the way, I almost took credit for it. I literally just almost said the CMA a day, and then I came up with TCA a day. It was totally BS. I didn't come up
Woo!
with it, but that's how much I believe, and I feel like in my core that I came up with it. So you guys came up with the TCA a day, and then I just flipped the script and I challenged, my LOs, and we started a contest. It's really cool. I posted a video. I think Dave may have shared it in the mortgage coach community, but I'm challenging, all 52 loan officers, right, that work with me to do this TCA a day, because it's going to increase their productivity. It's going to deepen relationships. It's going to get them more leads. It's going to position them as an expert. It's going to get them better at their craft and sharpen their sword. And at the end of the day, it's going to make them more income. And all of those things combined together, it was a no-brainer for me to have a contest that creates a little bit of competition, right? Because you have to remember there's three ways that people were motivated, right? Pressure, praise, competition. Pressure, praise, competition. And for me, this encapsulates all three, right? You have the pressure of, you said you're going to do one a day every day for 30 days. That's pressure, right? That's pressure. Praise is acknowledgement. Send me all your TCAs at the end of the week. Shout out to Robbie, got 17 done in a week. Shout out to Sean, got 14 done in a week. Shout out to, you're encompassing all these different things. And the competition, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Friendly competition, right? So if we can, as leaders, try to make sure we see, do, share, and then create pressure, praise, and competition, it only benefits the individual loan officers, all their relationships, and our bottom line. And it's going to create stickiness within our culture. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for. I want people to be engaged. I want people to do better. I can't do the work for anyone that works with me. And it pisses me off, by the way, because I would do it if I could. Literally, I would carry them all on my shoulders up the mountain, sprinting with a 150-pound pack on if I could, but I can't. Right? You can't carry everyone with you. So you have to figure out ways to motivate them, inspire them, give them praise, make them get better results, and give them the tools that they need to succeed. And that's what I'm doing around the TCA a day. I think it's literally going to be a game changer. I would love to have a phase 2. I'm already thinking about what does phase 2 and phase 3 look like, right? Like how do we bottle this little magic and go, okay, phase 2, 90 days, right? 90-day TCA. Like who can commit to doing one every single day for 90 days and see what that looks like. So I'm super fired up to track it, see what the results are at the end, see if people's production goes up, and then we'll really know, we'll have a really good test case that we can scale in the future for all of the loan officers.
So one quick question, and I want to unpack this, and I want to get a checklist out of you, Jeremy, just so we know how much time we have. How much time are you going to be able to stay on this call?
I'm
So we can
good
just
until a biggie baby. Man, work out with your realtors. That's all I'm saying. I'm high. This feels so good. We should all be doing this. I have until 9:30, so I'm good.
okay, good. So we got 20 minutes.
Yep.
So I want to make sure all the reasons to do the TCA day come out. And I know that in your case, when you look at the profitability, you know, how many price
Yep.
exceptions you have, how much money you spend in price exceptions
Mhm.
versus your peers,
Mhm.
it's different. So
Yes.
how much more profitable is a loan officer that does a TCA versus loan officers that don't? And again, I don't want you to not ask you to share anything you're uncomfortable with, but if you don't mind just sharing the profitability
Oh,
advantage
I'm
of a
open
TCA.
book. I will share it all. It is 100% all good. So when I compare my personal production pricing exceptions compared to my peers within my organization that I control or that I have, some insight to, I literally average 50% less concession. 50%. That's huge,
So you're
right?
50% more profitable.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to answer that correctly just because of scalability, but to keep it simple, yes. So let's say that the average concession for someone within the branch is 48 basis points. I'm at 24, right?
Got it.
So it 50% if from that regard,
Got
right?
it. On a
So
per loan
on
basis,
a
on a
per
per
loan
exception.
basis, right?
Right.
Getting it boiled down. Now, to your point though, when you scale that and that is like 5 loans, 10 loans,
You're a
20,
lot
30,
more
40, I'm
profitable.
way more profitable, okay, than the peer group that I'm looking at. But it doesn't matter. We have to look at it on a loan level basis. And that's where I think people get confused too. Now, here's what's a trip. Check this out. So I have a lot of people on the team, everyone signed up for Mortgage Coach. Some use it more than other. Here's what's funny is that I noticed that people that don't use video in the TCA don't use video, they're still better than the ones that don't do it at all, but they're still 20 basis points off of the best that use a video every
Mm.
time. So that's a trip to me. Like using the video integration in a TCA is magic, right? So a TCA is going to elevate you. It's going to present you as an expert automatically, right? But you talking to the person individually, explaining things, walking them through that is the game changer. So you have to do both. Don't do something half-ass. It's like making paella without rice. Like you don't just throw all the seafood in there, right? With a little bit of tomato and a little roux, it's going to come out gross. Like you might as well throw the rice in, right? And then throw the seafood in. It's the same with the TCA. Do a TCA, do a video. I don't feel comfortable with my face on it. Okay, then do an audio only. I don't like how my voice sounds. Get over it. That's how you sound. Like, stop it, right? And I hear these excuses from the people that work with me all the time. They're like, yeah, I just shed away from the video. I just kind of call them and go over it. I'm like, you're missing the boat. Okay, click button, right? Get loan. Does that sound familiar, by the way? Click button, get loan. That's how I feel about when they click on my link and they see me and I'm talking to them and then they get a loan from me. So click button, get loan. Don't miss that out. So from a profitability standpoint, pricing exceptions, mine are the best. personally compared to my peer group. And I'm not saying that with ego, it's because of the tools that I use, and anyone can do it. Anyone can follow the process. You're going to elevate your game and be seen as much more than just a mortgage dude or a mortgage dudette. You're going to present yourself as an expert. They need to see you. They need to hear you. They need to see that you are going above and beyond and walking them through choices so that they can make an educated decision. So yeah, I mean, pricing exception wise, I mean, we're really, 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 really good on a branch level, regional level, but I do notice a huge difference from people that don't use a TCA, and then those that do use a TCA that don't use video. It's just a ladder. It's just steps that you should be integrating.
So any branch manager that just heard this, any regional leader that heard this, and profitability is important, production is important, modernizing your sales force so that they're delivering a modern mortgage experience. If that's important to you, jump on board. TCA a day. It's
Yep.
even a brand new loan officer that doesn't have a database can do a TCA a day. So there's nobody that's serious about the mortgage business. Now they need to be full time. I want to have a sustainable career in mortgage. So if it's someone who wants to do part time mortgage, maybe not. But I even think if you're working 2 hours a day, you can do a TCA a day. So Jeremy, let's get into the checklist, and then Todd, be ready for the next round of questions. You did so checklist number one, you see, so hopefully between this call and the last call, everybody, you've seen what we're doing. You do,
Yep.
if you're a non-producing manager, make sure that you get someone else in the company that's done it. So when you bring it out, it's not like, oh, I saw this mortgage coach call and this is what we're doing. You either saw it, you're doing it, or you saw it and you have an example to share. And now it's time to share. And you did a bomb video to your sales force.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do to share it? Like, let's just give the checklist of any manager listening to this. How should they be sharing it?
Yeah, so what I did is recorded a video, sent it out to the whole staff, and I created a contest, okay, around doing this TCA a day and I'll break down how I'm going to track it. Okay, so over the next 30 days, starting Monday, because what was funny when I first brought it up, people get a little paranoid. That's that whole pressure thing and competition. They're like, oh, I need to brush up on it. Like maybe I haven't logged in as much. Like I just want before we start the contest, right? It's like prepping for a race, right? Like they're like, oh God, I need to run a couple extra miles first. So we're gonna start it officially on Monday. So give them some time, right? Give them a few days, prep them for what's coming ahead. And what we're doing is that every Friday, for anyone who says that they are has raised their hand that they want to be in the contest, they will send me all their links that they did that week. Okay, so they're going to send me every one. So if it's five, that's 5 days. If they did 20, it's going to be 20. So that's what they're going to do, and I'm going to keep track of it over a 4-week time frame. Okay, over a 30-day time frame. Now, at the end of that time frame, what I'm going to do is offer some winners, some prizes, right? So for me, and you can make the prizes whatever you want. That part doesn't really matter. So for me, it's keeping track of it and looking at who did the most, just straight volume wise, who did the most. That person is going to be given a 2-night stay, to Las Vegas on me, right? At the Wynn Encore, fully paid for, flights, everything, great job, etc. The second prize is going to be the same prize, but what's anyone who completed one a day for 30 days is going to be thrown in for a drawing, right? That way they can. So I'm rewarding activity. And I think this is a problem sometimes that we do as leaders, and I've been guilty of it too, is that it's like who won, right? And remember, people are at different levels, right? People are at different levels in their business. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm rewarding for the behavior that I want to continue. Reward the behavior that you want to continue, right? Everyone wins if you do the work. I'm not a participation ribbon type person personally, but if someone's doing the work and they're giving their best and they checked all the things that they were supposed to do, that's a winner to me, right? They're showing grit. They're showing that they're engaged. They're showing that they're dedicated. They're showing that they want to be better at their craft. So I'm throwing those people into a raffle bucket. So essentially it'll be like the winner, just based on pure numbers, them plus one, whether it's their spouse or a friend or whatever, and then it will be a drawing for someone who actually completed it, the full tasks. It'll be them plus one and my wife and I plus one. Now, here's the thing I am looking at though, okay? So that's just the prizes and the incentives to them. But what I'm most curious about as a leader is that I want to see Did their applicate disclosures go up in that 30-day time frame? Did their applications go up in that 30-day time frame? Did they lock more loans in that 30-day time frame? Like, those are the things, the three measurements that I'm going to be measuring on the back end to see how effective is this, or where are the gaps. Okay, so they're doing the activity now, so do we have a closing discussion problem? Do they have, do they have a tie down problem? Do they have an issue getting documents in, or whatever it may be? So I'm using not only the TCA day as a great habit builder that will generate more leads, more interest, present you as an expert, but I'm also using it on the back end to see where are the real gaps so that I can add value to the LOs, because everyone's a little bit different, right? And when we don't know what the gaps are, because I will tell you, I ask all the time, like, hey, what are you struggling with? What's a big challenge? I do calls every other week, right, where I have everyone on. It's an open line call. If no one shows up, I'm still on there for an hour waiting for someone. It's never happened, by the way, but whoever wants to come in and pop in and out, they can come in and pop in and out, ask questions, and we go deep. But here's what's funny. Most of the time I say, all right, who's got the first question or challenge? And this is what it sounds like for 5 seconds. People don't like to share vulnerabilities, you guys. Okay, so we have to find out how can we uncover the vulnerabilities sometimes, because it is uncomfortable for people sometimes to raise their hand, even if you're in a trusting relationship, right? So as a leader, I'm looking for ways that I can find insight to where they're struggling without them having to tell me all the time, because sometimes it just it hurts their self-esteem, for lack of a better term. So I'm looking for ways to be open. I'm looking for ways to add value. And at the end of the day, I think they're going to crush it with this. And I'm super optimistic in general, but I'm really, really optimistic about this. Like, if they do it, I think it's going to be a complete game changer for their business.
Yeah, no, I do too. And Jeremy, also just recommend that one of the metrics that you track for success is profitability. Look at
Yeah.
price exceptions pre this initiative and post to see if they're, the one, getting better conversion rates, two, improving, the profitability from a basis point standpoint.
Thank you for
Also,
that.
I'm gonna loop in someone from our marketing team, because we're doing some case studies right now.
Okay.
And if you'd be game, we might want to, publish a success story around, pre TCA day, post TCA day. Are you cool if I loop in someone from our team?
That would be sweet.
Okay, so Todd, I know we also think folks should be using our tracking form, the Win by Noon tracking form. Would you mind making sure Jeremy is familiar with the Win by Noon TCA day tracking form? And we can get into that in more detail after Jeremy. Like, we could go deep on that, but let's just give a minute on that right now while we have Jeremy. You're on mute, brother.
Sorry about that. The window washers are, going down there, down outside of my window. Two versions of it. The freemium version of it is already posted in the files in the group. It's a 4-week version of it. You can use that. You can get going. The fancy version is this version, right? So this is the version that you buy. It's $5. It's $20 if you buy 5. So it's pretty cheap. That includes shipping. And it's got the TCA a day on one side, and it's got the CMA a day on the other side. So we've had, LOs buying up to 40 of them to send to their favorite real estate agents.
Someone bought 40? Someone bought 40?
Someone bought 40 of them. I'll have to look and see who it is. But
well, I hate being last. Can you send me a link with 200, please? And I'm buying them today. That is incredible. I'm going to give 52 to my LOs, and I'm going to hand out 148 of them. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Seriously, bro? Are you popping off?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We will take that order. So guys, the biggest order so far is 200, and we got 140. Todd, let's figure out who that 40 person was and invite them to the Friday Mastermind next week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this, right? We're here to help your success, and there's a free version of it, because just tracking your TCAs, like Jeremy say, will do it. Jeremy, last week you said you were going to require 7 days a week. Is that still the plan, or did you change that up?
Well, I got a little pushback from that, to be honest with you. What I was really fired up, and I thought everyone would just say yes. And everyone was like, well, so what are the day? And I had too many questions about, is it really 7? And finally I was like, listen, just do one every day. So listen, I want 7 a week. Okay. So if they can get in 7 in 5 days, that's fine. But I want 7 minimum a week. I really like the whole hardcore one every single day. But I did get a little pushback, and someone even called me out and was like, you're about balance, Jeremy, and you don't, and I'm like, okay. So I want 7 in a week though.
I love it.
I love that, dude. Thanks for the transparency on that, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that. You already said kind of, I'm always looking for what are the excuses. So you already said one. One is I'm not brushed up enough on it. So I just tell anyone here who's listening to brush up on it. Number two is do 7 in a week. It doesn't have to be on weekends. What else were the pushbacks you got, Jeremy, and how are you pushing your people over it?
Yeah, so that was mostly it. I would say another request, it wasn't so much a pushback, but a request was, hey, can you spend some time personally, me? This goes back to the whole leadership thing, just so you know, all right? And I'm really going to challenge managers out there that are non-producing, okay, to learn how to use Mortgage Coach. Okay, I really think it's important. So the other pushback was more of a request. It was like, hey, can you personally spend time with me on it? Right? Show me how to do it, which, by the way, at first it's like, oh God, do I really want to do that? Like one-on-one. And then you realize that this is a request from information to be in deeper relationship, right? So that was my other quote unquote pushback, was more of a request on just some training around it. And that's my job at the end of the day. So that was really it, honestly, that was it. One other one I would say would be like, hey, what do I say, which goes back to training. What do I say in the video, right? Like when I make the video, what do I say? But that was really it. I didn't have any other pushback outside of that.
So I do want to jump in on that. So first of all, if you're with an enterprise where they have an enterprise relationship with a Mortgage Coach, we have a success management team that you can leverage to do branch trainings. You can, leverage for training. Just about, well, not just about, everything someone needs to know around how to use Mortgage Coach. It's in our YouTube channel. We've got a 3-minute video. We've got a 5-minute video. So Jeremy, one thing, if you want, maybe we should have one of our success managers do a region training for you.
Oh, that'd be killer.
And that way, at least you have a resource. You have our team, and then also, guys, learn how to leverage our video community to do training. So if you're a branch manager and you hear this, if you're an enterprise client, you know what to do. By the way, if you want to be an enterprise client, email me, Dave at Mortgage Coach, and I'll put my enterprise sales team after you. But we've got resources to do group training and one-on-one coaching. And make sure we also have a playlist, how to get started with Mortgage Coach. I'll make sure I put a link in this chat to that playlist. So it's literally like, Jeremy, I would tell people, have you created 10 TCAs? Have you watched these 3 videos? And then if you still need help, I'm there for you. So at least you're putting them through a little self-education obstacle course before you're doing one-on-one training. Anyways, just a thought for you.
Great advice.
So, hey, Deborah, we're going to bring you in 3 minutes because we've only got Jeremy for 3 more minutes. Good to see you. In my opinion, the industry's top social media manager to help individual loan officers build brands on Instagram and Facebook is Deborah Bird. Also, my daughter Sydney works for her, so you're getting a savage on the team. So Jeremy, we got 3 minutes left. Any closing thoughts for managers or mortgage coaches listening to this?
No, I mean, I think that I've been sharing my closing thoughts the whole time. Is that like there's nothing more to say than you just doing it. Like if you want to be a leader, you have to add value to other people. So look for things that are going to add value to other people, your people that you're leading. This is a no-brainer. Like literally Todd and Dave are giving us, like, because I remember I tried to take credit for the TCA day at the beginning. It was not me, it was them. But I believed in it so much that I felt like I created it, right? So just take what they're giving you, take this gift and unwrap it and just shoot glitter over everyone with it. Okay, like unwrap that gift, share it with them. If you want to make a difference in the people's lives that you're leading, you have to give them tools and things that they can do to show them that they can succeed.
Love it. Thank you, brother. Hey, we'll let you jump.
Later.
You're invited for the next couple of weeks to keep us updated and jump in for 15 minutes. If you can make it, we'd love to see you.
All right, y'all. Have a great day.
Take care. Later.
Thanks, Jeremy.
So Todd, any call it coaching wrap-ups on that, and then we'll bring Deborah into the call, find out how much she's been listening and have her help us drive this program.
Well, coaching for you and I is that Jeremy's going to be buying 150 to give out to real estate agents. So I can't wait to hear how he is going to execute the CMA a day out with his real estate agents. I mean, that I think in itself is going to add huge, huge value. And, I mean, you just can't top what Jeremy said. As a leader, I think everything that he said was spot on. And, I would tell you, I'm a non-producer. Obviously, my wife runs our team. And I would tell you it's exactly what I've done with my team and realtors. Ironically, when I led Clubhouse call this week on the TCA a day and the CMA a day, there was a realtor who's a Win by Noon user who I know in the Phoenix market. And a couple things came out of it. Number one of my suggestions is that whether you're a loan officer or real estate agent, you should have HomeBot, because HomeBot was a great tool that if you're a loan officer, you could call the client, you would be bringing up the value of their home and then engaging them with a real estate agent to do the CMA. So I thought that was a great way to get your realtors involved in the CMA. If you're a real estate agent, I went through my normal HomeBot pitch. If you don't have something like that you're providing value on a consistent basis to your clients, they're going to the websites, Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com, who all have cash buying programs, and they're really going to be tempted someday to hit that button and you're going to lose that sale. And so she called me right afterwards and said, "Hey, Todd, that was the push I needed to get HomeBot." Now, Win by Noon has a free HomeBot code. Unfortunately for her, I didn't give out the HomeBot code on the call. She paid the $50 as a realtor. But if you just, I'll send you, I'll put the link up here in a minute. But if there's a free code to get your agent to waive the $50 sign-up fee and to waive the loan officer $200 sign-up fee. But it pushed her over the edge. And so she signed up. Luckily, she's going to work with my team on it. And then she actually sent me a CMA that she then that afternoon sent to a client and has asked one of my team members to follow up with them, because now they just bought the house last year and now there's an opportunity for them to eliminate their private mortgage insurance. And so that right there to me was a home run. It was an unexpected piece of me going out there. And so, of course, what am I doing? Go back to what Jeremy said. It's the see, do, share. Well, I'm seeing what Jeremy's doing. So guess what? My team is going to be doing it too, right? I guess technically I already did it. And then now I'm going to share with you guys how that works out, because I think that's the real opportunity. And I'll kind of weave in while Deborah's on the call, the sort of the list that I gave everyone on how to actually launch into the TCA a day so that people understand it. And then just know my wish for you is the results that Jeremy's seeking, right? Jeremy's investing in a trip to Vegas for two people. That's not a cheap investment. But he also knows that his loan officers are going to close more loans. And guess what that means for him as a regional? More profitability. So, it's a win-win. He'll probably make, 2 or 3 times as much money by encouraging his people to do more loans than it's going to cost them to do it. So think about that as an individual or as a leader, what that opportunity is for you. And I have to say, I've been working from home, so I hadn't seen the official fancy versions, and they turned out pretty darn good. So again, you can get the free one in the setup here, but I'll throw the link down below.
Hey, real quick, show me a close up real quick. Put the TCA, hold it steady. I want to zoom into that real quick. Okay, go scroll up a little bit. I want to see. So it's got TCA, it's got calls, it's got quality. So another little add-on push for anyone that does, you could go ahead and pull it down now, Todd. For anyone that does use HomeBot, I would recommend, if you got one person into HomeBot every day, or 2 people, like every day, you gave a family a total cost analysis and you put someone into HomeBot, I will literally guarantee you a ridiculous amount of success over the course of a year. Like if you just had that as a rhythm, like I didn't win the day if I didn't win by noon, and I didn't win by noon if I didn't do a TCA by noon, and if I didn't get some person into my HomeBot database by noon. And if you just played that game, guys, you are going to be a mortgage millionaire. You do that for a couple of years and you will have an extraordinarily successful career. This business is that simple. So Deborah, I don't know, how long have you been listening before you jumped on stage here?
It was about 15 minutes ago when I joined.
So you heard a little bit of Jeremy going off?
Yes.
What'd you think of that?
Awesome, as always. He's incredible.
He is just, and guys, we're gonna, you've got this entire call as a resource, as a manager, as a leader, but we'll create some micro content out of that because, his little rant on see, do, share is like 3 minutes of fire. And then his whole rant on pressure, praise, competition. If you're like a sales manager and you're trying to drive a team to do extraordinary volume beyond what they can do on their own, like I would just say those two concepts and this TCA a day, it's like, dude, you're covered for the next quarter. Just drive this. What are your thoughts on that, Deborah?
Oh, I agree. I made a comment in the notes that I call it doing your reps. And it's just like working out or brushing teeth. If you tried to work out for 8 hours in one day, thinking you would lose weight by doing that activity, because you know that's an activity that helps, just doing it once, even at an extreme amount of time, isn't going to do anything. You have to do your reps every day. And that's what I love using the Win by Noon planners. If you map this out and you have your activities that you know create success, but they have to be done consistently. And if done consistently, then that compounds over time. And it not only gives you repetition and practice, so you can troubleshoot and get faster and quicker. It's also going to allow you to build the habit. And so sometimes it's just the hardest step is the first step, and just committing to doing one a day. And I broke it down from a content calendar. If someone were going to use this for social media, I would break it down for before, during, and after the loan process. That way you're hitting all your buckets. And I would do 3 purchase examples, since purchase business is where most people are trying to drive the traffic, and maybe 2 refinance. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday could be more purchase focused. And Tuesday, Thursday could be more refi focused, or, make Fridays more of your annual asset review TCAs. Because I do think it's important that loan officers also touch on that. I know we talk about annual asset reviews a lot, but I don't see a whole lot of people using social media and showcasing how that management of someone's largest asset and how the TCA every year that's done helps clarify whether there's a shift in the strategy that's needed based off their unique situation, because life happens. And so I think we've got to do better at getting that message out there for mortgage coach users. But again, I would break it down to, like, if Mondays are going to be my purchase TCAs, and it's going to be focused on the before. So that's usually at time of pre-qual, your buyer consultation. Maybe you're doing a rent to own, a departing residence, several examples, FHA versus conventional. Then you have during, so that could be your Wednesday TCA for purchase, and you could do an apples to apples comparison, or a counter offer, or the appraisal gap strategy. And then leave Fridays as more of your annual asset reviews of showing how the different, payment difference or savings over 60 months. Like if they originally thought their strategy was to be in the home for 5 years, but maybe now it's 10 years. How can we showcase the other aspects to a TCA and use that in, a social media strategy?
Love it. So I am going to ask you this question, but I want to bring it to Todd before I do it, but just get you thinking about it. Knowing that we're doing this TCA a day challenge and this CMA a day challenge, I want you to give everybody kind of social media ideas and strategies, because, on one side, it's the CMA a day, what should they be putting in their marketing to drive that? I'm not even sure the TCA day challenge belongs in a marketing plan, because it's more of, hey, that's what you're doing on the backside. But I want you at least to speak to that as a social media consultant and strategist. Todd, before we do that, a number of people have asked for the link, and Jeremy just asked for the link to get, Jeremy wants to buy 200 of the wall posters, 50 to give to his team to manage the TCA day, and 150 to give out to realtors, which, guys, I think is a incredible investment. While they're $5 a piece, that $5 conversation with a realtor about a CMA a day could be worth thousands of dollars, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how profitable that relationship becomes. So, Todd, would you mind sharing that? And then I'll make sure I respond to Jeremy's email to get the link.
Yeah, I popped it in Zoom. I'll pop it in again, and I popped it into Facebook. So I'll run it over there again real quick. So, and again,
remember, no, David, if it's already there, dude, I don't. Yeah,
we'll get them in there
I
again.
just didn't see it.
Let's give people extra. So remember, it's only $4 if you buy them in a quantity of 5. So, again, it's even more of a bargain than Dave just told you. I love the sharpening, Dave, about adding to the database. The irony of that is that the Win by Noon Real Estate Agent Edition actually tracks database ads, right? Because that is something that real estate agents do. So my shout out to all you guys, if there's anything else that you think would be a great addition to, the second print, right? At some point we'll sell out of these and we'll do another print. But I totally love that idea of database ads. So think about that script when you're doing a TCA live with, either the live conversation with a client when you're going over their annual mortgage review, or you're going over their purchase TCA, and or on every video that you do at the end, where you're bringing up HomeBot, and that you have it say, gosh, who else do you know that would benefit from me doing this total cost analysis for them? Or who else do you know that would benefit if I added them into HomeBot to give them their monthly home value reports? So there's a great opportunity. Dave just added a ton of value there. And I think, Deborah, you hit it right. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt we should be purchase focused, but there's definitely an opportunity out there. I just saw a graphic on it. I'll get it loaded up into the group later today. And it talks about how much appreciation on average in the last 12 months there is by state. So for Arizona, where I am, the average person gained $51,000 worth of appreciation. And with the new debt consolidation tool that Mortgage Coach rolled out, I mean, you're leaving money on the table while rates are low again for a period of time. There's such a great opportunity to let your clients know about that appreciation. Throw it on that TCA. By the way, I know that you already have a 2.5% rate, but if you took out this cash, I don't know what you could do with it. Maybe you've got debt still. Maybe you have other investment opportunities. Maybe you wanted to put the pool in your house that you never did. But I'm confident that if you do that and send that out to clients, that you will absolutely get more refinances right now. But I agree with Deborah, stay purchase focused.
All right. So I want to answer a few questions. Also want to remind you guys, we want this to be like a sales meeting. So we've launched this contest last week. If you have questions about the TCA a day as a manager or a loan officer, put them in. Even if it's in the recording, you're watching this on the YouTube channel, we'll get your questions answered. And if you have questions for the CMA a day, put your questions in. We'll get to them. So Oscar, thank you. He said the TCA a day is gold. Already got a refi locked in. HomeBot, does HomeBot allow for an integration with Mortgage Coach? Yes. We'll put a link down below. It takes less than 1 minute. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. 40 seconds to turn on the HomeBot Mortgage Coach integration. Super slick. If you don't have that turned on, you're leaving money on the table. For those of you who asked how to sign up for HomeBot, there's a link below, and it comes with, you save $200 on the setup fee. So there's a link below on that. I don't think everyone elaborated on what is the good short comment to record and send a video. I try to keep it to 20 seconds or less, but at times it's closer to 30. Anyway, so best practices, Ed, on the video. First of all, I don't think you need to try to tie yourself to 20 seconds. I think less than 90 seconds is a goal. And there's a lot of great examples in a minute. Best practices, say the client's name back to them. People like hearing their name. It shows them that you heard them. If it was a referral from a realtor or any referral partner, say that partner's name and give a tweet, just like 7 seconds of love for that referral party. Repeat back their number one goal. Show them you know them. Show them you listen to them. So by the way, that could be the extent of it. Hey, John and Sue, I loved meeting with you. I'm so glad Deborah Bird referred you to me. She is the best realtor in Austin, Texas. You're so lucky to be working with her. And you told me your number one concern was blank, blank. And I have prepared something for you to achieve that. Like, that could be it. And then again, you could go into more detail. The only other footnote is if they told you like, oh, our father-in-law is loading on the down payment, give the father-in-law some love. Hey, make sure you forward this to John, who's loaning you down payment. Make sure that you're socializing and you're saying it in the video to get everybody who's involved in this decision on the loop. Now, don't go over 3 minutes, but if there's more meat on the bones to give education and there's more people who weren't on the call that need to hear a little more meat, then add that. But keep it under 90 seconds. I don't think you need to keep it under 30, and follow the best practices I just shared. So Deborah, not only do I want to hear any, social media best practices on the contest, I would love to close the call. Like when we get you on here, if you could just give them like, everybody should do this social media post this week. Like give us the post of the week from Deborah Bird, if you're cool with that.
Absolutely.
So
You got it.
TCA and CMA a day social media advice first.
Can you show me or tell me what's all included on the CMA a day? Like I understand on the mortgage side, but what is it on the CMA side? If you'll pull that up.
It looks exactly the same. So I'll talk and put it up so it comes up. It is literally looks the same. It's just how many CMAs did they do? And then who did they talk to and how many people did they call, right? So just added a couple of what I think are the key lead metrics that most loan officers forget to track to determine what activities lead to a closed loan.
I'm almost thinking it would be kind of cool to even see, not that you would need to do a call night, but if some agents and loan officers would partner, and if they did a CMA and a TCA together and made it like a package or kind of presentation for either a client that was an annual asset review, or because the three largest demographics of people who are moving right now are the people downsizing, the people trading up, and then your super seniors, which the super seniors are the ones with all the money. So it's thinking in ways of how do we remove all the friction and kind of uncertainty that gets in their head of what prevents them from moving maybe quicker, and perhaps doing a presentation where the agent and loan officer are together presenting, here's your CMA, but here's also what it looks like as far as numbers.
All right, I got to ask, what's a super senior?
I need to look at what the age cutoff is, but I think it's 60 and above. Maybe 62 and above, but
Yeah.
they're the messaging for them, because I think the worst part of moving is packing that and probably your inspection. So it's considering what are going to be some of your offers that you're putting on social media, whether you're using a CMA or TCA. The whole intent behind what you post has got to be getting in the mindset of your consumer, where if they're scrolling and they see your TCA, how are you connecting with them that as they watch, they're saying, oh, that's me? Or a super senior is going to want to see the numbers. Okay. But then that's where your agent could, sandwich in the presentation and perhaps talk about things that those robot lenders aren't going to offer or provide, which maybe you find a strategy to make it as easy as possible with getting boxes or network with some services that will even come in and help pack and help move you. That is something that I think they would pay a premium for, that you wouldn't have to worry about, the robots of the industry, trying to take your business.
Thank you. I think that's super helpful, because again, I think you all need to be focused on what are those big areas that are moving. And I love the suggestion of trying to figure out how to make it easier for them, because in the end, that's a hurdle. And if you can eliminate a hurdle, then you've made a friend and a client for life.
Right. So if you look at just those demographics, and if the first one, which by the way, that according to realtor.com, the average age of a seller right now is 56. And that's nationwide. So obviously it would be different based off your, hyper local market, but that would be something very important for, your agent and for you to look at and have those conversations so that you can get even more granular with your type of messaging, that it's hitting the right audience. But if we know based off of a big scale that it's going to be the clients downsizing, so how do you show, a TCA or CMA that's going to hit that target market? The ones that are moving up, so maybe it's a first-time home seller and buyer, and they have zero experience having to line up both closings, or you talk about things like a flex loan or a bridge loan if your company offers that, and show a TCA for those options. And then, the last one is the super seniors, but I think the easiest ones would be showcasing examples of, how much equity are you using from the sale of your current home? Should we look at paying off other higher interest debt? Let's look at, other ways to strategize with getting your money working for you, or maybe it's not a 15-year term, and it's not putting 20% down, and showing them with the mortgage coach. And then also the ones who then move down, it's like, okay, may now be the time that we have a heart-to-heart on what does your retirement look like? Are you prepared to retire at this age? And how do you know if you are? And if you're making those calls, I would then challenge them not only to add to their database of other people who may need a TCA, but also, have any of your trusted advisors changed? Are you working with a financial advisor? Because these could be good, warm intros for your annuities of income of other partnerships. That's not just agents. Are you working with a CPA? If they were divorced recently, who is your divorce attorney? Ways that you could extrapolate other higher annuities based off every contact you make. That way you're optimizing every lead you have.
So one takeaway I had from you as a social media strategist, if you are doing this CMA and TCA a day strategy, is one, to have a social media post that's around, think of it as like the Air Force. I'm going to be calling, like if I'm a realtor, I'm going to be calling consumers. So I want to do social posts that kind of aligns with those calls. And I have some insight and some market insight. So you're coaching your realtors to call people within that, that move up, and it could be age related. It could be equity related, could be subjectively like, hey, they've been in the house this long, that they had this goal, but you're making those move up calls and you're doing some social media that support that strategy for agents. And then the way you get a TCA out of that as a loan officer is you kind of know, they're going to be doing move ups. Make sure you have a move up TCA ready to go, and make sure that you're telling them that, hey, here's the CMA a day strategy. Here's a social media post that kind of goes along with it. And here's an example of a family that I helped go from, we're good to go in this house, to, we need to sell this house and we need to buy this bigger house. So you've just got this Air Force, you've got this Army, you have this Navy SEAL TCA, and you're hitting that realtor with everything. So Deborah, what is my personal favorite post that I saw from you this week was that, is that TikTok video that was really funny around a loan officer versus a mortgage coach.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was funny for me because I'm Mr. Mortgage Coach.
Right.
But by the way, guys, if you haven't seen it, it's funny. It's in the Mortgage Coach Facebook group. But what is the post of a day, the post of the week for a mortgage coach? Like, what should a mortgage coach be putting on social media this week if there was just one post that you've been doing for your customers? Give us a freebie.
The appraisal gap one is by far the one that not only helps educate the consumer the most of the misconception of, what if I go over, the list price? Does that mean I have to bring all of that extra to closing? So that one, part of social media is you have to consistently send the same message over and over and over for people to suddenly have a paradigm shift, which takes time, and you have to be consistent with it. So the appraisal gap one is still huge with just the consumer and with the real estate agents. And that one's the one that's most shared that I see. The other one is the debt consolidation. There's still a lot of refi business out there. I know we're trying to focus more on the purchase business, but there's people who need help and they don't know what they don't know all the time, and they don't know how money works. So if you're consistently doing a TCA, I call it TCA Tuesday. So I would challenge everybody from now until next Tuesday. Think of just this week. What was a win of one of your clients, whether it was before, during, or after the loan process? Just think of one great TCA that you created. Commit to recording that for a Tuesday post. And what I would like for people to do is to create a framework around how do you present this on social. And it's following that amplify sequence. So you're going to start with your frame, which is kind of the intro to the client story. What was their problem? Because again, we want to showcase the problems that we solve. So why did they come to you for this example, or what were their goals? And then the message or the meat of the story is the TCA. How did the TCA and your advice solve their first perceived problem or goals, and then what things maybe you brought to their awareness by showing them the TCA. And then you end with the tie down. So I share this with you all because there may be someone else out there who is in this exact situation, or you may know of somebody, and we would love for you to, either tag them in this post or share this with them so that they know who to go to get great advice.
Love that, guys. And so Deborah shares examples all the time in our Facebook group from her 100+ loan officers that she helps with social media. If you want to have them, branded for you, or you want to become a coaching client of hers, reach out to her. It is support@plugandplaysm.com. And we'll put a link down below. Anything else you want to say on that, Deborah, before we hand it back to Todd?
No, other than it's okay to sometimes go against what most people would think. So Walt just did too. They're not live yet, but Walt had recorded 2 different refinance examples of how the numbers through a TCA educated the client that a refinance would not benefit them. So the first example was the client came in thinking they wanted to do a cash out refinance, but because of some financial hardships from COVID, they would have to refinance out of a conventional loan to FHA. And even though they asked, well, what if we just refinanced out of the FHA back into conventional? Because we know we're going to keep this home. And yes, there may be mortgage insurance, but we just need help with the monthly payment. He was able to show through a TCA of all of the costs associated with refinancing twice and why that wouldn't be your best decision, and what were some other strategies that he could give advice on. And so sometimes it's okay to say the opposite, and when it doesn't always work out and when it's not a benefit. And the other example was he had a client that had, I think it was going from a 4% rate to 2.5%, but what changes had occurred that even Walt wasn't aware of until they had the conversation was that one of his investment properties, he had sold the investment property and did a principal reduction with some of the equity from the sale. Well, once he looked at all of the numbers and showed him, even with the rate being lower and the cost over time, because that's the hardest thing for people to understand, is how does my decision today, and not making it an impulse or emotional decision, what sometimes we do because we just want the home, but how is this decision going to affect me over time? And when he broke it down with numbers, and his whole message was numbers don't lie. But if you're not using a TCA, then you're not showing them how the numbers affect over time. So it's one thing just to have, the status quo of an itemized fee worksheet to show someone, but that doesn't educate them with the compound effect. So I was just going to throw that out there as another example of also helping people understand when it wouldn't be a good decision.
Yeah, I love that. And we put Deborah's email down below. Jared, I hope you reach out to her. Again, great people, do a great job with helping you become the digital mayor of the market that you serve. And then guys, also helping you get leads, the combination of good social media that builds your brand with a strategy that's also going to generate leads from both realtors and consumers. She does a great job of it. She's the only social media consultant I know that is a black belt at Mortgage Coach, has been through Amplify, has been through high touch selling. She's a win by nooner. So she knows loan officer and she knows social media. So check her out, guys. Todd, how do you want to wrap up today's call? You've only got a couple minutes left, but as Mr. Win by Noon, who, by the way, guys, Todd is the one that thought of the win or the total cost analysis a day, the TCA a day, and the CMA. So it was his idea. Win by Noon has created this beautiful poster. So dude is the leader of this, this month. What do you want to close out with?
I was so excited to tell you about TCA Day because I knew you were going to love it. Here's what I would tell you guys, right? Every week I say, take action, right? Take action now. Don't wait, right? Whatever time it is in your time zone, you've been on this call for an hour, or you maybe watch this in a video, take time now. And what I would do is I would schedule for next week, right? Deborah kind of, spoiled a little bit. She just said, hey, for her, it's, plan ahead now for TCA Tuesday. I would be thinking about my time, and I would block 30 minutes a day next week. That's it, just 30 minutes a day. It's going to take you 3 to 10 minutes to do your TCA, depending on, what level you are at TCA. And then a phone call with a client when you get them on the phone to go over the TCA day. could take you 5 minutes, or it could take you 20 minutes. So most of the time it's going to be shorter than that. So therefore, you're going to have blocked off 30 minutes, and I've gifted you extra time to maybe do a second TCA, because you might just get the person's voicemail. You might be done in 10 minutes and have 20 more minutes. So I think first and foremost, you got to schedule the time. And I'd be looking at my calendar. I'd be pulling it out, whether it's, a hard calendar like a Win by Noon planner, or whether it's just in your phone. But I would schedule it and commit to that time. You got to commit. And then the second thing I would do is thinking about, well, who is it that I'm going to go after? So Dave mentioned last time, the low-hanging fruit for you is your pre-quals. If you have not done a TCA for all your pre-quals to set up for them what their total cost over time is going to be, you're missing out. And then the other group where I think is your golden bucket is start with the people that you closed first quarter of last year before rates dropped, and reach out to them, right? They're your first group. And then if not, just start every month. It's July. Look at all the people you did for July last year and do an annual mortgage view. I would start there. Reach out to me if you have any questions or need any little bit of a kick in the butt. But the bottom line is this, right? Thanks to a bunch of you, because I can see that there's orders rolling in for the fold out calendar version of it. If you aren't in that position, the free version for 30 days is in the file section in the group. I'm grateful for all of you, as always, for being a part of our community. I love being here. It's great to hang out with Dave. It's great to hang out with Deborah. It was great to hang out with Jeremy. It's great that you're all here.
Yeah, no, thanks everyone for trusting us with your time and your attention. I do, like Jeremy said, I think this is a game-changing challenge that we're doing. We're definitely going to keep it going for the next 30 days. So you will have a place every Friday to talk about this challenge. And we'll be bringing leaders that are getting after it. Like, I want to find out who is it that bought 40 of these posters, and we'll invite them next week. And I already know of at least 10 very well-known Hall of Fame level leaders that are making this TCA a day and the CMA a day a priority right now. So we'll be bringing them, different people on Friday to keep this going. And remember, if you have questions, put them down below. Even if you're watching this on YouTube, Todd and I will make sure your questions get answered either via text. We'll add it to this call, or we'll give you a video. This call is a wrap. Give us a like, share it with your mortgage friends. And Deborah, as always, thank you for your leadership in the community. We really appreciate you.
Good seeing you,
You bet.
brother.
Boom.